Now, the rest of the story. Billy could feel the ocean reaching up for him. As the watery fingers were searching for intruders to pull down into the soundless depths, Billy could feel the ocean reaching up for him, and in minutes he would be drowned and perhaps never found. Had he only half listened to the warnings of those who lived nearby? Something about unfamiliar waters, something about a bad time to go swimming. But folks always said that, didn't they? Billy had never in his life heard of a riptide, the collision of opposing tides, and its turbulent result. The strongest swimmer would be foolish to defy such conditions, even more so a college student on a casual weekend at the beach. But there was Billy, in the riptide's grip, too far from shore to be heard, the chaotic currents battering his body against the jutting rocks. An eternity loomed before him. But this is the rest of the story. One of the other college students that Billy had met on this holiday, a young man from Harvard, was still on the beach, distracted in a conversation with a friend. But for some reason, the other fellow suddenly wondered, "Where's Billy?" And then he turned, squinted out into the springtime glare. He saw the struggling figure in the water. In an instant, the Harvard boy was dashing for a small boat. That was a risk in itself. A rowboat in a riptide could be headed for a long ride, even disaster. But there was no time to think about that or anything except the young man gasping in the churning, treacherous water. The Harvard student maneuvered the little craft skillfully. He could see Billy clearly now, by then helpless and bleeding. Closer, closer still. "Hang on," shouted the Harvard boy, and then, just in time, the hand reached down from the little boat, and Billy, flailing, reached up to grab it and took hold and lunged to safety. Some 25 years later, those two young men, long separated, were reunited. Reunited at a conference in Seattle. Their children played together. Their wives got acquainted. The two men talked old times, and one in particular, the Hyannisport holiday long past, very nearly Bill's last. "You never told me that story," said the Harvard man's wife. And indeed he had not. He had forgotten somehow. He recalled the colonial cottage 2 blocks from the beach, and the breeze and the sun and the companionship of those 2 lazy spring days, and yet until being reminded he had not even remembered the riptide and the rescue, and consequently the irony had eluded him. The fact of a Goldwater Republican Harvard student, Fife Symington, a Goldwater Republican student, Fife Symington, later governor of Arizona, risking his own life to save the life of a Democrat, a young man who would one day lead his party to nationwide victory. Of course, you know the fellow Fife Symington snatched from the brink of oblivion. Bill was Bill Clinton. Now you know the rest